Hello and welcome to the second lecture, Intellectual Property and Marketing. So, this lecture is about giving you the tools and the means to protect your creative talent and turning it into a business. So, intellectual property was something that was shared. So, and the first thing, the most important thing is you need to have a registered business to be able to register it and to protect it. In the past, it was possible for people to buy books from some countries and translate them and pretend they were their books and sell them in another country. That is what this picture is trying to show, and that created intellectual property wars between countries. Well, that is not the case now because there are copyright laws, but in a way it is very important to protect your intellectual property, but to do that you need to have a formal registered business. So that is the first step. Now, what is the content of this lecture? First, we will talk about the importance of intellectual property rights. Second, the types of intellectual property rights. And the third, what business decisions you need to make that are related to intellectual property rights. So, let's look at the first point, the importance of intellectual property rights. What are they? The saying from George Bernard's show, in a way, explains. So, if I have an apple and you have an apple, and I give you my apple, but you have two apples and I have none. But if I have one idea and you have one idea, and I tell you my idea and you tell me your idea, we both have two ideas. So, and that is the thing with intellectual property. It can be shared. It's not tangible. So I can take the idea you gave me with me anywhere I go. It's not tangible. It's something intellectual. It's non-rivalrous. So lots of people can use it. I can share my idea with everyone in the world. Potentially everyone can use it, if I want to. And it's not excludable. So it can be imitated. So if I give you my idea, well, you can share it to other people, you can transfer it. So and that is typical. Now, that is good about intellectual property, but that is where most of the problems come from. So, how important are they? If we look at the Standard & Poor's 500 companies, what are they? They're the top 500 biggest companies in the world. We see how across many, many years, since 1978 till 2010, they have changed from having fixed assets to having intangible assets. What are intangible assets? They are intellectual property. In other words, they are things that are very similar to your creative outputs. So instead of being measured based on their number of buildings or machines, now they are measured based on the number of creative designs, patents, intellectual property, and so on. So if you are in this business of creative industries, so if you do any creative work as an architect, as a designer, as a programmer, you see that you have a growing place in the market, not only as a startup, small entrepreneur, but also among top companies. Because you can see how almost 80% of their net worth, of their value, consists of what you do. Even on a small scale, but that is what they need as well. So, and that is what they do. That is why we say that we live in the knowledge society. So, what can intellectual property rights do for you or stop you doing? I will post the link to the video on the system, but take some time to think about this question. What can intellectual property do for you or stop you doing? If you can pause the video, you can think about it, write something, make some notes. If you are taking this course with someone else, try to have a discussion before moving on, because it is very useful that you think about what you're listening.